Welcome to the official release of the Watcher video. This is the story that started it all. We've got a lot of content coming your way, so get subscribed. But first, let's do this. It was supposed to be a dream home, a quiet, peaceful place to raise a family. But someone was already living there, not inside the house, but in the shadows, watching. It all began in June of 2014, when Derek and Maria Broaddus purchased a $1.3 million home in Westfield, New Jersey. The colonial-style mansion had 6 bedrooms and sat on 657 Boulevard. That's right, 657. Now, why is that significant? Well, soon it would become known as the House of 657. The house looked great. It was on a quiet street in a great neighborhood. Everything a young family could want. There was even a playground around the corner. The kids would love it there. As the family began to settle into their new home, they decided to go check it out. But while Maria and Derek strolled their kids around the block, they had no idea that somewhere in the shadows someone was watching them. Less than a week after the Broadduses closed on the home, they received a letter. It had no return address, just the name of their street and their house number typed in bold, disturbing print. Once they opened it, they realized with chilling certainty that whoever sent it knew way too much. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, welcome to the neighborhood. It's nice to finally have the new neighbor move in. My family and I have been watching you for many years now. It's been the subject of our family for decades now. You are now in a home that my father almost had the opportunity to purchase. Our family had many long discussions about the property over the years. Once word came that it went up for sale again, I jumped at the chance to buy it back. Only the bank turned us down because we apparently did not meet their requirements. Maybe someday we will get the opportunity to meet. Maybe someday. I hope you like the home. I truly believe that if you live here, you will make it your own. I see you have children. Have they found what's in the walls yet? I'll wait for your response in the mailbox. Yours truly, The Watcher. The writer knew their names, their children's names, and even knew where they were playing in the house. He also seemed to know about an addition that had been made to the home in the 1950s, which had sealed off a portion of the basement to the rest of the house. What was in those walls? Was the Watcher referring to the secret passageways that had been covered up? Or perhaps something more sinister? Was this some kind of bizarre welcome to the neighborhood gift? To the Broadduses, this was no ordinary welcome note. This was surveillance. This was a threat, and it was only the beginning. Not 2 weeks later, another letter appeared in the mailbox. Same handwriting, same ominous salutation. This time the letter read, "I am pleased to know your names now, and the names of the young bloods you have brought to me. Will the young bloods be playing in the basement? It is far away from the rest of the house. If they were to scream, who would hear? Was the Watcher planning to abduct the children? Or the secret passageways used for something other than hiding? Why had the previous owners concealed them? And what was the Watcher trying to hide?" At this point, the family panicked. They hired a private investigator to look into the home's history. Perhaps there was a stalker living next door. Maybe it was an overzealous fan who had taken things a little too far. But as the weeks passed and the letters continued, it became clear that none of those theories were true. Another letter arrived in mid-October, just 3 months after the first. This one read, "How are the young bloods? Are they making good use of the basement? Do they play hide-and-seek in the darkened rooms? After all, it has been a while since I've played. Hello, whoever you are, stop playing your sick games. Just the thought of my children being trapped in a dark room makes me sick to my stomach. I cannot imagine anyone wanting to harm them." The letters escalated, and so did the fear. The Watcher wrote that he was pleased to see the lights on in the home. He loved seeing the family inside, watching them. It was his favorite game. And the most terrifying thing, he was always watching. Every move they made, every room they entered, he was aware. They could feel his eyes boring into their backs. As the days passed, the Broadduses began to feel claustrophobic in their own home. They stopped letting their kids play there all together. Maria and Derek worked from home. They didn't want their children going out to play in the yard. Was the Watcher watching them closely enough that he could strike at any moment? Were their lives in danger? In December, a year after buying the home, the Broadduses called the police. Now, thankfully, they hadn't suffered any physical harm at the hands of the Watcher, at least not yet. By this time, the mystery of the letters had become a national sensation. The FBI became involved in the case, although that didn't help much. To this day, no one knows who the watcher really was. The couple installed security cameras around the house. They took pictures of their vehicles and parked in the garage instead of the driveway. They even hired a former FBI agent to try and track the watcher, but none of it helped. The threats kept coming. The police kept searching. But aside from the anxiety they were causing the Broadduses, the watcher wasn't causing any real harm, so legally speaking, he couldn't be stopped. Derek and Maria desperately tried to sell the house. But in this economy, no one wanted to buy a haunted house. Okay, maybe haunted isn't too strong of a word here. But how could they prove that there wasn't a stalker living nearby? What's more, each time they tried to show the house to potential buyers, they received a letter telling them that the clients should run and never look back. Run. The clients always backed out of the deal. Some houses you just can't sell. 657 Boulevard was one of those. In late 2019, the couple finally gave up. They signed the papers officially selling the house for a loss. No one knows where the watcher went or what happened to him. Did he find a new house to watch? Did he move? Did he even live there to begin with? Or perhaps he still lurks in the shadows of 657 Boulevard, biding his time until a new family moves in. Whatever the case may be, the Broaddus family was relieved to leave. They lost a ton of money on the deal, but they walked away without their lives. And that's the biggest win of all. While researching this case, I found a lot of different opinions online. Many people believed that the parents must have made the whole thing up. Others believed that the letters were written by a disgruntled realtor. But I personally think that both of those theories are wrong. I believe that the letters were 100% real and that someone in the neighborhood was responsible. But that doesn't explain why they never revealed themselves. Why live in fear for months, maybe years, if you could just knock on their door and end it all right then and there? Well, maybe it's because what they were doing was actually illegal. See, if you start watching someone's children, you're technically breaking the law. It's called stalking. Even if you're just watching them from a distance, it doesn't matter if you're just looking, taking photos, or recording them. All of it is considered trespassing. And if the watcher was doing this for years, well, that's a serious amount of criminal activity. Not to mention all of the crimes he threatened to commit. So yeah, it's likely that the watcher broke a few laws. Considering law enforcement rarely gets involved in these kinds of situations, especially if no one's getting hurt, I think the watcher got away with it. Either way, that's the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, don't forget to subscribe.